Hello guys, welcome back. Now in this session we are going to discuss about ways to assign Terraform variables. So let's look into the agenda. What are the topics we are going to cover in this session? So guys, we will start the discussion with the demo where we will understand about variable assignment within Terraform, and there are four ways basically. So we will start with the first method, that is variable default. We will look into that in this way how we can assign the variable within the Terraform. Then we will look into the second method, that is command line flag. Then we will understand with the third method, that is how we can assign the variable using terraform.tfr file. And at last we will discuss about how we can assign the variable using environment variables. So let's jump into the Visual Studio Code to understand all these topics. So guys, we are into the Visual Studio Code, and to understand the variable assignment I am going to use the same example that we have been following in our earlier session, that is the creation of EC2 instance using Terraform. So guys, before writing the code for different ways of variable assignment, we must have to understand that what is the problem of using such kind of a mechanism where we are not using the variables. If you closely look into this program, then you will find that for all of the arguments we are passing the values through the static method where we are not using any variables. The problem with this approach is that suppose in case if you want to reuse this program with different set of information, for example if you want to create a T2.large instance within the AWS, then you have to come to the program and do the changes over here, and that is basically not recommended when you are writing the program for the production environment. Here I am taking a very simple example so that you can understand the significance of variable, but in a production environment the significance is very large. And another point we have to consider that whenever we are writing program in any of the language, we have to follow the drive principle. Drive principle means don't repeat yourself, and with the help of using the variable we will achieve that as well. So let's look into the first way, that is variable default. To use the variable default way, we have to first create a file that is called variables.tf. So the first step in this, we need to define variables.tf file, and within that we need to specify the variables which we want to create. For example, I want to create a variable, so I have to use a keyword called variable, and within the quotes we need to specify the name of the variable, which variable we want to create. So for example, I will tell that instance type, and over here I will specify something called default. So that means if any of the user is not passing the value, then this default value should be picked. So that's the reason we are mentioning default value. And here I am going to tell that t2.micro, and then I will come over here, and over here this syntax is going to be the same. You need to tell a keyword called var, and this will be specified with a dotted notation, and then we need to specify this variable name which we have created over here so that it will pick that variable. Now save it. Now let's run it and let's look into the plan, and then we will see that whether it is picking the values which we have provided over here, that is t2.micro, within this program. So make sure that you are saving all the files. So to run it, you need to go inside the view, and over here you need to click on terminal, and then we need to write the Terraform in it so that it will install the required provider. So guys, it has installed the Terraform provider. Now let's look into the Terraform plan. So let's write Terraform plan, and we will look into whether it is picking the variable, the information from the variable or not. So it has given us the plan. So let's look into the plan, and over here if you will closely look into that, there is called instance type, and it has successfully picked the t2.micro. The benefit of this is that suppose that if you are working in a project, and in a project we are having various environment, and for each of the environment we are using different set of instance. So instead of changing within the program directly, what we will do, we will come to the variables.tf, and over here whichever the instance we want according to our environment setup, we can specify that. For example, if we want to set up the environment for staging, we can specify over here t2.medium, you can specify over here so that it will pick that particular value. So let's save it and let's run it again. So it has given us the plan. So let's look into that plan whether it has applied those changes or not. So you will see it over here, it is telling that t2.medium. So guys, this is about variable default method where we are using the default value assignment. Now we will discuss about the command line flag assignment. So guys, command line assignment is similar to the variable default assignment. The only difference is that we will specify this value at the runtime. While running the plan, Terraform plan, we will specify this value. So how we can specify? Let's look into that. So while doing it, we need to specify Terraform plan, and over here we need to specify a parameter that is called var for assigning the variable from the command line. So here I will specify a parameter, and then we need to specify the values for the variable. So which variable we want to assign? So we need to specify that. We need to tell that instance type equal to, and the value I want is the t2.large. Now let's enter. Then you will find that this value t2.large will be reflected in our configuration plan. So it has given us the plan. So let's look into that whether it is reflecting or not, and you will see it over here within the instance type. It is reflecting the t2.large. So guys, this way of variable assignment is the command line way of variable assignment. So guys, and now I am going to give you a Terraform trivia. For example, if you are removing this part of the code from the file, then what will happen? So let's look into that. So we will run it Terraform plan again, and this time we are not going to pass the var parameter from the command line flag as well, or say from the command line prompt as well. So I will specify Terraform plan. So let's look into that, how our program is behaving. So over here you will notice that it is expecting a value within the var.instance type. Why it is so? Because we haven't provided the default value. Suppose in case if you are not specifying any values from the command prompt, then it will expect a value for that particular variable. So here I will tell that t2.xlarge enter, and it has given us the plan. If you will look into that, then you will find that over here it has given us t2.xlarge. So now let's proceed further to understand another way of variable assignment. So now we will discuss about the terraform.tf var file, way by which we are assigning the variable within the Terraform. So guys, in the earlier way we have seen that we are passing the variable values from the terminal itself. That is actually not recommended way when we are working with the production environment. So you must be asking that then what is the recommended way? So the recommended way is we have to use the terraform.tf var file for all the variable assignment. So for this I am going to create a file called terraform.tf var, and make sure that you keep the same name where you have terraform.tf var. So now let's assign the variable. I'm going to assign the variable instance type equal to, and over here I'm going to specify again t2.micro, and within our program we haven't mentioned anywhere t2.micro. We are passing the value from this place. So now we will come it over here and let's remove it, and within terraform.tf var file we have already specified t2.micro, and over here we are referencing that variable. So let's save all the file and now let's run it. So we have to run it again. So let's remove this one and let's write terraform plan enter, and then it has given us the plan, the configuration plan. And if you will look into that, then you will find it over here within the instance type it is picking t2.micro. Even though we are not specifying any of the default value, we are just passing the value from terraform.tf vars file. But the condition is that you have to keep name as is, that is terraform.tf vars file. So here the question comes is, so can we keep the custom name for this file? Yes, you can, but you have to specify the variable file name within the command prompt while executing it. So let's look into that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to change the name. I'm going to tell that over here demo.tf vars, and over here I will come here and I will specify terraform plan, and over here I need to specify var file. So there is a parameter which you need to specify var file, and over here you need to specify the file name, that is for this case that is demo.tf vars. So let's run it again. So it has given us the plan, and if you will look into that, then you will find that over here it has given us t2.micro for instance type. So to make it more standard, better to keep the name terraform.tf vars. So now let's proceed further, and now let's discuss about the last method by which you can assign the variable, that is the environment variable. So now we will discuss about environment variable, way by which we can assign the Terraform variables. So guys, to use the environment variable mechanism, we need to create the environment variable first. So to create the environment variable within Windows, you need to specify setx, and then you need to specify tf underscore var, and over here after this underscore you need to specify the instance type, which variable you want to assign. So this part of the code, it is going to remain same whichever the variable you are going to assign, and over here you need to specify the variable name, and then you need to specify the value. I'm going to assign t2.nano over here. So what it will do, it will create a environment variable, and for Linux you need to use here export command instead of setx. This is only the difference between creating environment variable within Windows, and to create the variable within Linux you need to specify the export command. I am using Windows 10, that's the reason I am using setx command over here. So enter, and you will see that it has created it within the environment variable. Second point, you have to remember that whenever you are creating environment variable, it is not available directly, so you should make sure that you are creating another terminal. Over here I am going to use the another terminal, then only it will pick the latest environment variable which is being created. This is the second point. The third point, so where do we can check the created environment variable? So let's look into that. So to check the environment variable, you need to come to the control panel, system and security, and there is a system. Click on advanced system settings. Once you click that, then you will find a button over here, environment variables, and over here if you will come here, then you will find that here it has created tf underscore var underscore instance type, and the value is t2.nano, which we have specified. So now let's go to the Visual Studio Code and let's write Terraform plan over here. Terraform plan, enter. So let's look into the configuration, and over here if we will look into that, it has given us t2.micro, but we have assigned t2.nano at the environment variable. If you remember, over here we have assigned t2.nano. Now the question comes over here is, why is it so? That is because the precedence, there is something called variable precedence. Suppose that if you have assigned any variable at both the places, one at the environment level, another one is at the project level, where you are specifying the variable within the Terraform var file, so it is picking up this one. So Terraform is always preferring terraform.tf var file for variable assignment. So let's do one thing, let's change the name so that it will not pick from here. So and let's verify that from where it is picking the variable. So now we are not going to specify the var file name from the command prompt, and then we will look into how it is giving us the plan. So let's write Terraform plan, enter. So now it has given us the plan. So now let's look into that, and over here within the instance underscore type, it has given us t2.nano because it has picked it from the Terraform environment variables, and this is what I wanted to demonstrate you in this session. So let's sum up our session. So guys, in this session we have started with the demo, and where we have understand the various ways of variable assignment. So first we have seen variable default method, then we have understand how to pass the variable value from the command prompt, then we have looked into another method that is called terraform.tf var file. Within that we have also understand that how to specify the custom file name for TF var files, and at last we have also discussed about the environment variable mechanism by which we can assign the variable within Terraform. We have also discussed about the variable precedence, where we have looked into suppose any of the variable is assigned at the environment variable level as well as the TF var level, so which one it will pick. So it will pick the TF var file variable assignment. So on this note, I am stopping over here. See you in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care.